change API Climate Justice Town Hall. And I have to be honest, I am not someone who has been doing a lot of environmental work for a very long time. This is something that is new to me too, and it's something that's really interesting to me because I see what the next generation is facing, and I see what my kids are facing. I see what's important to them and what's moving them. And for us, I think what we need to do in order to make sure that our kids are invested in coming out to vote, as you'll notice, we are a voting center here at Chinese Community Center, so if you haven't voted, you can actually just go out there and simply vote if you live in Harris County. But if we want our young people to vote, and we want our young people to be involved, we need to make sure that we're well versed on the issues that are important to them. And the environment is certainly...
I appreciate all the work you do. I know that you have important company. Thank you for all that good introduction you gave to me. And of course, more than AAPI, I tell you, when I got elected in 2018, I was the first person any color. And how we 183 years ago, I was the first person of color, any company, got elected to that position. And so we came a long way. Today, Portland County is one of the most ethnically diverse counties in the country. 29% Caucasians, 24% Hispanics, 6% Asians, 22% African Americans. It's like a 25-25, you know. And we also, on so many levels, we're doing well, we have a lot of people doing. And this is a subject is very close to my heart because it is we owe to our next generation to talk about this and make sure there is action. And so I tell you one more thing, that 4 years, 5 years ago, I was there to take education into more than 4 years and I traveled 3 weeks and I tell you I came back in November, beginning of December came back, and I tell you again, this is the best place to be alive. The United States is the best place to be alive, and this is the best place to have this conversation, much better than anywhere in the world. And I know we are in Texas. Some of the stuff we are talking is maybe not popular in Texas. I get it, but you, me, together, we make this popular. And we all know next generation.
Is that when you look at each other, there is already a built-in community, and it's not for a boom and boom. You are here today because we are here to have hope. We are going to be encouraging each other and being involved politically as well to make sure that anybody in the office is going to be representative of us and our values. And like Dr. Grace was saying, we also need to be there. You are here right now, you are seen, but we also need to keep amplifying each other's voices. So pat yourself on the back. You are here today and making that, and slowly making that change. And we really hope that you are going to share it with your friends and continue to make sure that even within your organization, you make language access possible. You're taking care of the people that are also in this work, so taking care of mental health that we mentioned, thinking about our future. And I want to ask our panelists a closing, one actionable step that you want to recommend to individuals today moving forward.
Mine would be to vote.
I just want to echo that, yes. But also, if you're already voting, like take it to the next step. Go look into what bills are active, go testify. And also, if you are an entrepreneur or like looking to get involved on your organizational level, there are a lot of grants available for you to actually, so look into your county government and your local government and see if there are grants available for you to have your own sustainable initiative.
I think I already mentioned join the organizations, Caroline's Clear, and all of this organization. The Houston Climate Movement is the one I'm representing. Rise API is to help Asian Americans to be empowered in politics, and that's not an option. So there are plenty of choices for you to make.
Awesome. I also want to echo voting. Take advantage of early voting while it's happening. We've got a historic amount of AAPI running for office in all different levels and positions. And it's wonderful to see the Chinese Community Center as one of the voting sites, making sure it's accessible as possible. And join a volunteer group, see how you can just try to give back and stand in solidarity with community groups.
If I can add one more thing, is talk to your children. Your kids are those ambassadors to their peers, but also to families across your neighborhoods.
When we talk about this environment, us being a community, and then bridging that in how this environment here is going to help us continue to bring awareness into our health, and I'm really hoping that we can just harness the power of our collective voices tonight to ignite that change, not just actually like the environment outside, but even in this environment and your involvement in making a difference. So thank you so much for our panelists. Can we give them a round of applause?
That history has shown us in the past with the first work on environmental justice from the United Christchurch Report, as well as seminal work from Dr. Robert Bullard, the father of environmental justice, that we have had communities of color, both Black communities, brown communities, as well as Asian American communities, who have been historically disproportionately having higher proportion of hazardous waste sites or living near hazardous waste sites in their communities, and that despite controlling for socioeconomic status, that these racial inequities and exposures are continuing to persist. And in fact, there have been some historical studies. In 2017, there was a study showing that Asian Americans experienced substantially higher exposure to hazardous air pollutants. In 2021, there was a study by the US EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, which showed that Asian Americans were 8% more likely to live in areas with the highest projected increase in childhood asthma rates, that would diagnose childhood asthma rates corresponding to a 2% increase in global warming.